evaluators have something very relevant. Oh, yes, Zack. Come on up here and tell us about the fourth speech that I completely missed.
All right, George, congratulations, your second speech is done, or fourth, or whatever it is. Your speech was amazing. It feels like it's a flashback to the past. And I remember you giving table topics. I remember you stepping up roles the last time that you were taking a more active role. And it always showed that you had control of the stage. Your voice commanded everyone to listen. And that's a quality that not many people have, unfortunately. And we're all developing it here. Now, the second speech is on organization. Organization of your speech. And when I started the meeting, I talked with him briefly about organization. And at first I was iffy because he says, there isn't a beginning, middle, and end, but there's organization somewhere. And I was like, all right, let's see how this works. And then you got up and spoke, and I was like, oh, it might be not a story where once upon a time, and then Prince Charming came, and now we live happily ever after. No, but you introduced the concept. You said, when in the beginning you said, oh, this is how I came up with this speech. It was a table topic. Then you said, what is happiness? You got us wondering, what are you going to say next? Then you said it. You told us specific examples in your life where you felt happy. And then you rounded it off perfectly by leaving it open-ended so that everyone would wonder, am I figuring out what happy is? Do I know what it means? And I love that in the speech. What you could work on is, you tend to have not a monotone voice, but you tend to maintain a steady level of excitement in your speech. And it's sort of excited. It's not like monotone, like, and this is happiness in my life. It is like, there is emphasis on all these things, but it never goes up over the top, and it never goes like, you're super excited about everything you say, and it never is like really mellow. It's always this middle ground, and sticking on the middle ground to speakers seems like a good idea because it's not risky. But in the end, those speeches where you jump around like crazy, the speeches where you're sad sometimes, those are the ones that stick out to people. And those are the ones that will be memorable. Those are weird. Sorry. So, including those in your speeches will help them stand out enormously compared to just staying at this excitement level. Now, what you could have done better is, you had an amazing beginning. It was completely built up and it hooked the audience. The body was amazing because it explains all of what you were trying to pitch. Your ending, it seemed like in content, it was strong, but it wasn't exactly a full ending. I felt like you kind of left us hanging by just saying, so this is happiness in my life, what is it in yours? Goodbye. And I felt like you could have built out that ending a little bit more. But overall, it's project 2 in your speech, and you did an amazing job. Thank you.
Pleasantly surprised, Zack. Thank you. So when we're evaluating speakers up here, it's really easy to say the first thing that comes to your mind or how you would have done it. But what's more important is to ask ourselves, how are we evaluating this individual through a rigid structure. And today's speech, the emphasis was organization. So I really liked how all the evaluators stuck to that in their critiques. Sometimes we can get a little bit off topic and talk about other stuff. Sometimes we can send mixed signals through our evaluations. For instance, if you use words like good or interesting, they can have really mixed connotations. So it can make the speaker sometimes confused as to, do they really mean that's a good thing? Or are they just giving me kind of like a mixed signal, a little sugar on top, whatever you want to call it. But I think everybody here is very honest, so I do like that we're very forthright in how we critique ourselves. And I would love to see more of that. Thank you guys. I suppose the table topics master or the grammarian.
Toastmaster.
Yeah, that's what I'm.
It's all good.
The master. Come on.
Alright, can I get the grammarian to give her report, please?
Sure. Great job, guys. It's really interesting being here after having not been here for, I guess, a semester and a half. So it's wonderful to see all the new people and all the new speakers. Grammar-wise, so Ksenia used two expressions that I thought were really cool because it gave me some visuals. The entranced by the keyboard. I imagined you as a little girl being entranced by the keyboard. And then you talked about one lazy afternoon. And, you know, obviously that's not, we don't talk about afternoons being lazy, but it sort of made me think about sun shining, warm breeze, etc. So that was really nice. Enrique talked about nicking a dollar bill. Enrique? So I thought, okay, that's a colloquialism, and let's see if, you know, the rest of your speech is okay to let that slide, and the rest of your speech was fine, so I would let that slide, but I wanted to mention it anyway. You talked about stringing a web of lies, which I really liked. So I imagined a stringing of a web of lies, and how one lie has to rely on the other, and has to rely on, and if you kind of poke a hole in it, the whole thing falls because it's a web. So that was great. And you talked about hesitance, being hesitant and apprehensive, and I like when people use a lot of adjectives, so that stood out to me. Speaker 3, Jessica. Okay, so Jessica, I'm glad you're laughing. So your evaluator talked about the colloquialism, and that's what I have here. And I looked back again at grammar, because I was thinking, grammar is not just about vocabulary, right? Grammar is actually about the way the usage of the language and the way that you put your words together, the sentences, etc. And I thought, okay, so the audience determines what language we use and how we express ourselves. So if something is appropriate for a certain group, it might not be. And I thought, okay, you had what I thought was solidly researched topic, and you talked about something that nobody would really have thought about. But I felt like the informality and the colloquialism took away a lot from the speech. So I would say, from a grammar perspective, not to assume that it's okay to be informal. And it could be alienating, depending on the crowd that you're speaking to, because if they can't relate to that way of speaking, or if they're not interested in that way of speaking, they can switch up. So that was, and then you said me and her. I think we were talking about me and her, similar. And she and I is what I know it as. And green jade thing. Again, because it's a prepared speech, I was thinking, you know, you would know, or you would already have researched whether it was a statue, a figurine, a sculpture, or whatever it is, and not sort of let yourself say green jade thing when you were talking about the statue. So that was for you. George, the most happiest. So we're either the most happy or we're the happiest, but we can't be the most happiest. So I have that, and then you talked about not being the esoteric authority, which you can't put the two together. Esoteric is about, you know, belonging to a few, a select few, etc. you're either the authority, which is already belonging to a select few, or it's esoteric, but you can't be the esoteric authority on something on something. That was it. Thank you.
All right, we have one more. It's the off counters.
Yeah, I kind of meant the dissonance in putting the two together.
Is that not?
I meant that. Putting the dissonance of the two words together. I meant that.
No, you said I'm not the esoteric
Yeah, so both
authority
of them
on.
conflict, and I meant to put it together.
You can't do that.
After feedback, can we please? Thank you. All right, with the off counter, please give his report.
Overall, I thought it was a very good meeting as well. To the Toastmaster Tyler, you had 6 ums, that was it, no likes, no anything else, so that's pretty good. Ksenia, being that it was your first time speaking, you did a very commendable job. I didn't notice anything, so keep that up. Enrique, you had 3 likes, 3 ums, and 1 you know. And something that I noticed that you did, it wasn't technically a verbal filler, but you kind of extend your ands. You kind of go and it can be kind of distracting. So that's something to work on. Jessica, you had 7 likes and literally, which can be, you know, a bit casual and informal, so just work on that. George, you had 2 ums, and you did use a bit of profanity, which is okay. I mean, old-time cuss word can be incredible, but in that situation, I don't know, it comes across as a bit informal. So I would just, if you're gonna use it maybe once instead of being twice. Mike, just 3 likes. Joe, you didn't have any verbal fillers, but you did have kind of several awkward, elongated pauses, which, you know, the right time can be effective, but sometimes it just gets a bit lengthy. Grace Ann, one time where she just kind of stumbled over some words. Alex, I didn't notice any, which is really good. Melissa, you had one time where you kind of just repeated a word and it kind of was a little bit distracting. Stefan had 4 ums. Jiten, you had 4 ums and a like. Fahim, you had 2 ums, 2 you-knows, and a like. Jeremiah, you had 10 or so ums and a couple likes. I would just really kind of work on getting that down. And then Zack, you had about 3 likes, and that was it. All in all, pretty good.
Thank you. Okay, before I hand it off to my president, I would like to personally thank each and every one of you that are new here for coming today. It's the first step of the 10,000 miles. Begins with the first one. Anyway, let me just tell you that coming here, this is a very non-critical environment. We really just want you to become a better speaker and a better person overall, in general, on your own pace. There's no pressure whatsoever. And I will tell you that whether you just enjoy listening to yourself talk, or enjoy telling a funny story at table topics, or you're somebody looking for a more professional outlook towards speaking, we can fill your role here. I will also tell you, having 2 parents that are high up in not only business but also the health profession, being able to communicate is very, very key in today's marketplace. I will tell you, my mom, she works at Piedmont Hospital, and she hired somebody that had a 4.0 from Duke. Okay, from Duke. Okay, you think a piece of paper from Duke can get a job anywhere. Well, he's not a competent communicator like we would say, and so it is very important that you become a competent communicator. I'm not trying to scare you, I'm just letting you know how the real world is. So again, thank you for coming out, and President Alex Matthews.
Let's give another round of applause to a first-time Toastmaster. I like how you left it. You left us with some inspirational, motivation words. Whether we're walking to class, at an interview, like he's talking about, or consistently arguing with our girlfriends or boyfriends, people notice great speakers. Fact. So what we do here on a weekly basis is important. That being said, if everyone can fill out the best evaluator slip on their feedback, it should be the last. And if there's any more, please fill that out and pass it to the center. Our Sergeant-at-Arms Fahim will pick that up momentarily. Also, while we're doing that, I'd like to call on new guests, just a few, to save some time, to tell us their name, what they thought of the meeting, how they figured out to meet here. So first, you, ma'am, what's your name? Would you stand up?
I'm Nara. We think it's part of our class, most people are black now, but yeah, our teaching assistant brought us here, and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed our speeches, and I never heard of Toastmasters before. So I liked how some were more serious, some were more funny, and I really enjoyed it.
Okay, thank you. Sir, would you stand up?
My name is Kevin. Also came here because I never heard of Toastmasters before today. It was interesting to see like the speeches a lot. So,
No, thank you, Clement.
thank you.
I think this is your first time. Would you stand up, what's your name, and what you thought of the meeting?
My name is Helen, and I'm half, and I was a native partner of Jessica, and she invited me here to do because I'm an interested, so kind of an interesting thing to hear people actually talk about what they think about and to share our ideas. And it's very impressive because I see that people really open their minds and we are, and as you have said, we can keep our pace, and it's really interesting. And thank you.
Thank you, Mary. We have a few announcements today. This will take under 5 minutes. Induction, new member induction / officer elections are the week after spring break. All the other announcements will be on Facebook, so make sure you're in our Facebook group. Also, signing up for roles. If you're not getting the roles, the speeches prepared, evaluations, or any other role you want, you can sign up online. It's in our Facebook description. There'll be more announcements about that later. We're going to sign up for next week's meeting online, so just remember that, online sign up. I'll make more announcements on that later. Class-to-class lectures. Tyler, our Toastmaster today, also went to a few classes today.